and welcome to our Look into the Law segment. I'm Jessica Clark, attorney and president of the Law Offices of Jessica Clark. Before we begin, I'd like to remind our viewers that the opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect the views of the Realtor Association of Southeastern Mass. Today we're going to discuss easements made easy. In your journey as realtors, you've likely encountered properties with shared driveways, utility lines, or certain land use restrictions. These nuances often stem from easements. Today, not only will I guide you through understanding and identifying easements, but I'll also delve into how they can be extinguished, giving you a full circle view. Let's start at the beginning. An easement is a right that another person has to use your property. They don't own your property, but the easement gives them the legal right to use your property in a certain way. The property that enjoys the benefit of the easement is sometimes referred to as the dominant estate, and the property over, under, or through which the easement runs is sometimes referred to as the servient estate. How to spot an easement. How do you spot these during your initial interactions or property visits? Sometimes it's an offhand remark from a client, "Oh, the neighbors always crossed here to get to the beach." Or perhaps you notice that the neighbor parks on your client's property or drives over their property to access their own home. These things can be indicative of an easement. Often easements are recorded at the Registry of Deeds or shown on recorded plans, but sometimes they can arise from implication or by necessity. A few minutes of research up front can avoid being surprised by easement issues later on in a transaction. In Massachusetts, we see several types of easements, including affirmative easements, which imagine a home with a path leading to a nearby park, but this pathway crosses the neighboring property. The homeowner's right to traverse the neighbor's land to access the park is what we would call an affirmative easement. Negative easements, and these restrict land use, for instance, prohibiting tall construction that can block a scenic view. Prescriptive easements, birthed from consistent use of a property portion without permission, uncontested for over 20 years. Plus, utility and conservation easements to address public amenities and environmental objectives. Now, one important thing to keep in mind is that easements aren't permanent fixtures. They can be extinguished, and here's how. One way is a release. The party benefiting from the easement can voluntarily give up their rights. By merger, if one person ends up owning both the property with the easement and the one benefiting from it, the easement can end. Through abandonment, demonstrating clear intent not to use the easement over time. And through expiration, some easements have a set duration, and once that time lapses, so does the easement. Also, adverse possession, an uncommon method, but if the landowner obstructs the easement and this goes unchallenged for a long duration, it can lead to the easement's termination. In conclusion, easements can and do impact property value, buyer decisions, and your negotiation leverage. As you identify and evaluate properties, be alert to easement indications. And when in doubt, investigate property records or consult with an attorney. Understanding easements and their nuances is another arrow in your quiver as realtors. The more informed you are, the smoother your transactions will be. That's all the time we have for today's subject. If you're looking for more guidance on this issue or have any suggestions on future topics, feel free to contact us at 781-985-7083. Thank you.